Hey everybody, Jam Creates here. Got another video for you. This time we're doing something I haven't done in a while. This is old school comics, where I just kind of dig out something from my boxes down in my basement, read it, and then talk about it and see how it holds up, or if it was something like, I did one that was an issue that I have never forgotten. It's been with me forever. It was that Chris Claremont, Jim Lee X-Men issue with Captain America, uh, Wolverine, and Black Widow. When the time they first met, and it was during World War II. That was such a great issue. I love that issue. Um, I did what else did I do? I did another one where it was a book that I couldn't even remember buying. I didn't even remember it existed. It was called Cybrid. It was Rob Liefeld did the cover, but he didn't do the interior art, and that one not so great. This one here, however, is Casey Jones and Raphael #1. Yes, I usually say Raphael, not Raphael. And this is from October 1994 from Mirage Publishing. $2.75. That was pretty expensive for back then, actually. Here's the cover. You can see it's kind of a weird cover. Like Raph looks great. Everybody else not so great. But then again, I'll explain why in just a minute as we go inside. Well, I guess I can't totally explain because the cover and the inks are by Simon Bisley. Simon Bisley, like this dude is a good artist. Like he's not this is not like a scrub. And the story and the pencils are by Kevin Eastman. Now, this is why I say that was my explanation, because Kevin Eastman, as much as I was the biggest Turtle fan in the universe back in the day, like, I mean, just freaking huge. Like, if it was Turtles, I was into it. I read the comics, I watched the cartoons, I played the video games, even though that first game on the NES was damn near impossible. I played the arcade games, obviously, because everybody played those. I went to go see the movie when it came out. I was there on opening day. I had to wait an hour and a half because the one show was sold out, so I had to wait for the next show, and I wasn't moving. I was going to see that movie regardless. I had Ninja Turtle posters all over my room. I had the action figures. Like, dude, you don't even know. I was like the biggest Turtle fan in the world back in the day. Now, I know there's that video of that crazy ass person who bought the actual animatronic head and everything. Like, yeah, okay, I wasn't that crazy. Uh, so anyway, this is, like I said, #1, Raphael, Casey Jones and Raphael, issue 1. Now, surprisingly enough, I did do a little bit of research on this one because I did not remember this series at all. And I remember thinking to myself, like, why don't I remember this? Like, this sounds like something I would remember. Like, I don't get it. Like, why did it just memory hole, I mean, granted, sometimes this happens. And then I went online, I did a little looking up, and what I found out was, for some reason, this series was canceled after this first issue. It literally was only printed one issue by Mirage Publishing. Now, really interesting is that apparently at some point this issue was reprinted along with the rest of the story, because I believe it was meant to be a 4-issue series, a 4 or 5 issue series. It was reprinted by Image Comics some years later under the title Body Count. And funnily enough, I have it somewhere. I know I have at least a couple issues of it somewhere. I wish I could have dug it out before this just so I could show you, but I don't have. So listen, you got some research this time. You didn't get some digging through the vault. All right, it's one or the other. All right. What do you expect from me here? So anyway, let's get into it here. The whole thing starts with like this, just a brawl, which the splash page, it gets you right in. You're like, whoa, what the heck's going on here? It's like a giant freaking brawl going on. It's interesting because it's on newsprint, but it's on like a thicker sort of newsprint. I'm not sure if it's not quite cardstock. but it's closer. I'm not sure what you would call it, but it is definitely like more of, it's definitely a thicker newsprint. And I'm still like just can't get over the fact that Simon Beasley. I know I'm saying his name wrong. I don't know. This is how I always said his name. Um, Inked Kevin Eastman's pencils. Like that's just crazy to me. Like the dude who made Lobo inked his Kevin Eastman's. Like that's so weird to me. I don't know. Anyway, um, I mean it's cool. Don't get me wrong, but so anyway, this fight just goes on and goes on and goes on and goes on, um, and keeps on going until finally, like, Casey's thrown out by this other dude, and he winds up like tripping this girl, and then she winds up kicking his butt. Um, and then she throws him like back inside, and this dude's like, "Oh, you want more?" And so then like it turns out like this girl is running from somebody, and it turns out she's running from this dude who's like and her name is Midnight, and he's oh gosh, what the heck is his name? She says his name, Johnny. Um, he's like some kind of gangster hitman, whatever, and they go back and she has a flashback to when they were on a hit, and she screwed up, and they wound up like, everything went sideways, and she was supposed to be the get up driver and the getaway driver, excuse me, and then the whole thing was a setup, and then so he blamed her for the setup, even though she says it wasn't her. So then like this fight keeps going, um, and then like the bad guys show up, and this dude shows up and he fires a gun, and then for some reason Casey just decides, yeah, I'm gonna help this girl. I think we know there's probably two reasons why he decided to help her, but we'll see. I don't know. His character motivation. You never know. Um, so you get this crazy, like, they start shooting, and I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure when you start shooting, people don't just start doing moonsaults, like, for no reason. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but like all these people are in the way, and they're just getting like completely shot up. Um, so they get out, and then they're like, "Oh, we're in trouble because they're cornered now," and they got them absolutely trapped. And then suddenly, like the ladder of a fire escape comes down and crushes like a few of the bad guys. Of course, not the main bad guy, because we need drama because it's a comic book. Um, so he's like, who's up there? And then we get the big dramatic. Dun, 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 here comes Raphael. That's a cool looking Raphael. Like, he looks like a monster right there. Like, it's funny. The turtles. It's so weird because the turtles sometimes they look like. Generally in the comics they look hard. They look like hard asses in the comics usually, but particularly here, like Raphael looks like a monster. Like, he's got teeth, which I'm not sure the turtles always have teeth, to be honest with you. But just look at the size of him. Like, he just looks freaking huge. And like he's coming down at you. Like, so that's a cool page. Like, that's definitely a cool page. The story is pretty lackluster, to be honest. Like, the story is not great. Um, and then you get like, next issue number 2, which never came out. Eventually, like I said, eventually it did as part of a reprint. But again, you get this, like, this is an ugly ass cover. I'm sorry. Like, I love Kevin Eastman because he helped create the Ninja Turtles. But like, look at these people. They barely look human. Like, Casey Jones here looks like a gorilla. Like, does he not? Like, seriously. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's always, I remember even way back in the day, like, reading Ninja Turtle comics, and even in their own letter pages, people would say, like, I love seeing Kevin Eastman draw the turtles, but I can't stand when he draws humans. Which is just kind of funny. So, and then there's a backup story in here, which is absolutely atrocious. Jim Lawson, Goozy Lamond. This, first of all, it's just boring. Like, she's working on a car, she's got a dog, blah, blah, blah. But look at the art. Like, what is she? She looks like look at her face. It looks like one of those puppets from the Dark Crystal. Like, doesn't it? Like, she looks like I forget what they're called. Like the good guys from the Dark Crystal. That's what she looks like. And then like a dude comes to the door, and blah 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 blah. Let's talk. We used to date. Goody goody. Blah blah blah. You want to? Hey, you got an arm? Yeah. Wow. Cool. You didn't get your tattoo removed? No. Blah 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 blah. There's my tattoo. Oh, you got a gun, huh? Yeah. Blah blah blah. I'm just here to offer you a job. Okay, well, I'm here to not be in proportion. Holy crap, look at that. Like, what is up with, like, what she's a. What? Like, what? What? Like, what? Huh? And what is she doing with her hand? Oh, I guess she's tucking her shirt back in. Okay. Just. Ugh. Ugh. And the only reason. The only reason I can think that they chose this backup story for this book was so that Kevin Eastman's people would look better. Which honestly, to be fair, his people in the book look a lot better than they do on the cover. On the cover, they just look redonkulous. Like, they don't even look human. But anyway, so that is the tale of Casey Jones and Raphael, also known as issue number 1, also known as Body Count by Image Comics years later. I should look up and just see when it was published. And I know I have some. I got to dig them out and find them just to see them, because now I'm just curious if I actually collected the whole series or not. Or did I buy issue 1 of that and be like, what the? I already own this. Like, I'm really curious. And I'm curious if this is worth anything, because it was like published and then the series was canned and then it came back later in a reprint. Like, so I don't know. Anyway, that's Old School Comics for this week. I'll do some more coming up soon. I enjoy doing these sometimes. This is my first one where I kind of really like got a little hardcore on roasting some of the stuff. Usually I'm very positive about things, but there's good things and there's roastable things in this one. What can you do? That's it. So anyway, if you want to see more of these kind of videos where I dig through my boxes and pull out old comics, like, let me know in the comments. Talk to me in the comments. Let me know. I love reading comments. I love answering comments. Hit the thumbs up, please. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and jingle that bell for notifications, man. And follow me on Twitter at jam_creates. I'm also on Instagram at jam_creates. And I usually use that for sharing pictures of my dog and my artwork. So if you'd like to see how I draw humans, you could go there. Although lately I have been doing a lot of animal drawings. So who knows, maybe I will be the next Kevin Eastman, and I'll be really good at drawing animals and not so hot at drawing people. Anyway, that is the video for now. I will talk to you guys soon. I'll have more new comic reviews coming very shortly. I've got a bunch of alternate books that I want to review. I'm probably going to review White Lily #1. So anyway, we'll talk to you. That's not alternate. So I'll talk to you guys soon, and cowabunga.